Here's Jordan Joe Hollabaugh.
3.1. She's in the money.
She was about as fast as she could have been on that
one. 2.9 seconds. And now she is number one.
You are officially in the loop.
Welcome back to 15 Days of Breakaway series here on In the Loop podcast, brought to you by Wrangler Long Live Cowgirls. And today we are reeling it in, narrowing it down, top 3 girls left to go. We're at number 3 today with Shelby Boisjoli-Meged. She is a 2023 world champion breakaway roper, and she is on the hunt for her second gold buckle. Shelby is one of the only girls that has made it to all 6 national finals breakaway ropings, and she is a very, very, very sincere competitor. This year looked a little bit different for her. She talks about her Cinderella story at Calgary, Colorado Springs, and clinching that 6th consecutive back number. It's been an amazing journey. This is a great episode to tune into. I can't wait for you guys to hear all about it. Here we are, number 3, Shelby Boisjoli-Meged on 15 Days of Breakaway, brought to you by Wrangler Long Live Cowgirls. Today, we are coming in with the number 3 cowgirl here on 15 Days of Breakaway. She is the one and only cowgirl to have made all 6 national finals breakaway ropings, which is such an accomplishment and something I've been waiting to say this whole series. Shelby Boisjoli-Meged coming in at number 3 with $178,598, 14 cents, and 79 rodeos. Congratulations on your 6th consecutive national finals breakaway roping qualification.
Thank you.
It's got to be exciting. Like, it's something that, especially maybe just because I do 15 Days of Breakaway, like, I keep all these stats and I track it. And I was like, last year, it was, you and Martha. And then this year, it's you. And I was like, golly, that has to be just a feat within itself to have been from the beginning of 2020 till 2025 and all the things that have changed in Breakaway. It's just, tell me how that feels.
It feels really good. I'm not gonna lie though, it was kind of hard watching Martha not get there this year. I think it was kind of bittersweet because I was really pulling for her this year, and it was like it's kind of always been the two of us. We kind of came from the same background and everything, so it was sad for me to see her, not make the finals this year. So bittersweet.
Yeah, it was very bittersweet. And you've seen something. I mean, records have been broken all year this year, and we're definitely going to talk about that for certain. But just some of the stats, you come in this year with 178,000. That's your best record as far as year-end standings before the NFR. You came in at 2023 with 164,000. 2024 was 146,000. 22 is 83. 21 was 66. 20 we shall not mention because there wasn't very many rodeos. But still, I mean, the numbers have progressively climbed. The payouts have grown. I mean, this was a phenomenal year for you. Take me through your season.
So the season started out pretty slow. I've never not won $1 over the 4th, and just at the rodeos, and I never won anything. I sent Anna up to Canada and kind of just saved her for Calgary, and I rodeoed on her full sister Madonna and took her to half the rodeos over the 4th. And I just roped awful, honestly. Like, it wasn't that I was drawing bad, it wasn't anything like that. It was just straight me. So Calgary was kind of the first place that I got the ball rolling, and like showing up at Calgary, I just came off of like probably 10 or 11 or 12. I don't even know how many it was, but straight no times. Like, it wasn't like I was roping the neck and breaking out or just having bad luck. It was like I was straight missing. Like, I was roping awful. So Calgary kind of got the ball rolling, Colorado Springs, and then honestly, like, it just pretty much went dry after that. Like, it was so hit and miss this summer. So I'm pretty grateful for those 2 big wins this summer, because my summer and my year end would look a lot differently without, those 2 big hits right there.
Yeah. And I think for me, Calgary was just a Cinderella story for you. What better person to win it than a Canadian, but let alone you and your family have had so much on the backside of Calgary that nobody's seen or knows about. Lane is such a huge instrumental part in Calgary even having Breakaway, putting it there, especially everybody on the committee. But there's been so much hard work, and that is just a place I feel like you always shine. And watching you rope there, I heard you say, I'm roping my way out of a slump. So
Yeah.
explain that to us, because I think when we hear, hey, I missed 10 in a row, we're like, no, you didn't. Shelby Meged doesn't do that. And Shelby's perfect, and she doesn't ever get into slumps.
Oh,
But I mean, seriously, I think that that's something that people, assume that you don't go through hard times because of the accomplishments that you've had. So work us, like, how did you make it through those hard times? Like 10, dry spells are really, really hard,
yeah.
period. So
Yeah.
what were some of the ways that you coped with that?
So, when I flew in to Calgary, I think I got there at midnight. I didn't get to my parents' house until probably, I don't know, I think it was like 2 in the morning or something like that. I was exhausted from the 4th. I've had like no sleep, and I set my alarm for 6:30. I was running on like no sleep. Took Anna over to a friend's house and ran some calves practice, came back, showered, got ready, headed into the rodeo, and like straight zombie, right? Like so tired, and then came out, won the first round of Calgary, and I was like, okay, you can do this. Like, you caught a calf, but just because I caught that calf, it was the same thing. Next morning, I was up at 6:30, go over to my friend's house, run some calves, practice, and then go into Calgary again. And so, same thing the next morning, all 3 days, and then, go to Colorado Springs. We got back so late from Colorado Springs. I can't remember what time. I want to say it was like 2 in the morning again, and we have to rope in the short go at Calgary, and it was the exact same thing. Set my alarm, running on no sleep, go practice, go into the short go. And we even had like a different plane I was supposed to get on. And I remember texting Shad, and I was like, I am so sorry. I'll pay for my seat on the plane, but there's a plane that's leaving earlier. I got to get on. I got to go practice for the short go. And I think that when you're in a slump, for me, that's when you just got to double down and just push through and work harder, because the only way the only way to the other side of a slump is through it. So, the faster you can get through it, the better, but you have to keep going. And Kendall she was laughing at me because she got in a slump this summer, and she was like, man, like, what do I do to get out of this slump? And I said, you know what, Kendall? Only thing I can tell you is it's gonna get worse. And she's like, thanks, Shelb. That's terrible advice. But it does. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. And you just have to power through. And I think that was kind of my way to the other side of it, was just, you know, put the work in and just know that, like, okay, you put the work in. Like, you're tired, you set your alarm, you got up, you're practicing while they're sleeping. Like, that's kind of what fueled me, and that's what helped me get through it.
Yeah. And I love that you say, double down and go for it, because I don't think that, that very many people would be that committed. And that's what it takes to be a champion. And we've seen that. So I think that's pretty cool. But it was a Cinderella story. You roped lights out at Calgary. You walked away with over 64,000. Colorado Springs too. I think that week they said you won something like $90,000, and you went from maybe nowhere in the top 20 to right back in the middle of the mix to get another gold buckle. And then I have to laugh, because I remember you last year telling me at Sioux Falls that your dad pulled you aside and kind of gave you a talking to, and told you to get your head out of your butt and rope like how. And you were
Yeah.
1-6 there, and then you go back home. So I think what we all should do is keep you away from your family. That would be ideal for all
Yeah.
breakaway ropers.
Yeah, Calgary was really important too. I think there is no better place to get out of a slump than have like my whole entire family, like every family member in the stands cheering for me, and going into the rodeo with me, breakfast that morning, dinner that night. You just get so grounded, and you remember that, like, there's a life outside of this. Roping is not absolutely everything. Like, I love these people, I love my family, I love my life, and you just kind of get grounded again, and then you just kind of, it's like a good reset. So I mean, Calgary in a lot of ways was a really good reset, and it pulled me right out of the slump.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your horsepower this year. I know you said you rode Madonna some, and that is a horse that not a lot of us have seen, that she's new to the scene and starting the bloodline of Anna and everything that she has. You also rode Root Beer some. So tell us a little bit about what your horses look like and why you choose them in certain situations.
Anna's pretty much my main string go-to. Pretty much the only time I get off her is if she's hurt or if I'm giving her a break or if I think that she doesn't need to be hauled to a certain place or get some miles, And so root beer's my backup after that. This summer I had root beer in Canada and then I had Anna in the States. And so when I needed a backup, I took Anna's little sister out there and she's 6 years old. She just finished her last futurity, and she's been coming along really well, and she's been doing really good, and I'm excited about her.
And you said futurities. That's something, especially right now, your arm has got to be tired. You've been icing that thing because you and your husband, Haven Meged, have been roping all week long at the Gold Buckle futurities, which is something that has been instrumental in you guys in your roping and just the career outside of pro rodeo. How has that played a part in what you do? Like, do you have to do anything different to ride and show up on those futurity horses, or do you think that that's helped you sharpen up for professional rodeos?
Um, I think it does hinder the roping a little bit just because you really want a horse show at the futurities and there's just so many things that you want to do right and hide certain mistakes and so you rope a lot differently and you're not really exposing yourself. You're not really running at the barrier being aggressive. And also, they're 4-year-olds, so you're not really riding them as aggressive, not kicking them. And we said after the last futurity that we're excited to get home, turn all these 4-year-olds out, and just work on getting ready for the NFR. But the fraternities have helped us the most, I think, as far as we're able to ride through so many horses now, and we're bringing these babies along, we're raising them, and then, as 4-year-olds, we're showing them. And so we're able to weed through a lot more horses and find, some really special ones. So I'm excited. We have a lot of really special ones coming up, and I think that that's going to help us in our rodeo career in the future. Just, having more horsepower and being able to ride through that many, have more options and feel them out.
And I know that we've all seen your husband, Haven Meged. He won the average title on Little Punch, which is owned and ridden by Shelby Meged. Um, just throwing
He's
that out there again,
scratched
Haven.
off by Shelby.
So how does that play into who gets what horses? Because I know that at the finals, it looks a little different. Breakaway is first, and then it falls into the tie down, and everything starting the day after the breakaway finals. So how do you guys decide who gets to ride what horse and what you're taking out there?
That's kind of tough. It actually works really well though, because obviously my horses do a lot better when Haven can get on them and tune them up and just give them a different feel. And this just so they can get away from me. And then it's good for Haven too, because, he can take some of the breakaway horses that I've been working on or for charity and stuff, and he can log them and see if it's something that'll fit for him. And so actually, I think that's kind of what happened this year again. I had a horse that I call Skunk. I seasoned him all last winter in the breakaway roping. And then right before Haven left for the summer, he's like, well, let's just log him, And so he ended up rodeoing some on him. And I think that's what he's going to ride at the Thomas and Mack this year, start out on. So it works really well both ways. And it always does the breakaway horses some good to get some tight on runs and have, take a jerk and just pay attention a little bit more. And it's nice that we can feed off each other that way and help each other that way.
And feeding off each other, Haven had a phenomenal year. And we're talking about Breakaway, but we've always got to talk about Haven because he's a diva.
Yeah.
But you guys you feed off of each other. And, he came back and I remember him telling Raymond it was, I think, late August. And he says, I've got to get 100,001 and I'm gonna make the NFR. And Raymond's like, I hope you do it. I hope you do it. And he told me, he's like, I don't know if he can do it. And I was like, if anybody can do it, Haven can do it. And he went pedal to the metal. But I know that you guys were both fueling each other there, and that was right to follow your win at Calgary. He showed up and was there to support you. So how does that work? You feeding off of each other in a competitive in and out of the arena?
It's tough sometimes because like what we ran into this summer was like I'm chasing number one spot in the world, like I'm in a position where, I'm trying to win another gold buckle and Haven's chasing like 15th. And so it's like this summer was so hard because I'm out here by myself completely because he got hurt. And so we had planned on going together. And then, of course, like the night before I leave for the summer, he's like, I can't go. So I had to pull out for, was it Woodward Was that the first one?
Yep.
Yeah, I pull out by myself and I take Punch with me and go to Woodward, Sisters, Vernal, all those. And then it was like one of those deals where it's like every time he thinks he can come out, he can't. So then you enter the rodeos 3 weeks in advance. So it's like, okay, well, Haven will be getting in at this time. And then he's like, nope, I didn't get cleared. So then I already am entered 3 more weeks by myself. And so this was like the toughest summer that we've had as far as traveling and like both of us just fighting for our spot and like trying to achieve our goal because he's by himself, I'm by myself, and he's chasing 15th. I'm trying to, end up top whatever, just give myself a chance for a gold buckle. And so this was definitely the most challenging summer that we've had, both being out there by ourselves and like trying to pump each other up. And obviously, like I roped horrible all summer, and he goes out there and is like wins more in the first week out there than I think I won in the whole first 2 months out there. So he did kill it this summer.
Yeah, he did. He had a great summer. And I think it's fun to see you guys because I know while you're both very fierce competitors, you're both very, very different in those facets. And so it's really fun to see that. And I know that, like you said, you were out there by yourself a lot this year and it looked quite a bit different in your rig. So tell us a little bit about what's in Shelby Meged's rig. Like if we're going to take a sneak peek preview, like what kind of bits, what kind of ropes, what kind of saddles, like snacks, traveling partners, give us the lowdown.
I guess it's been a lot different. The last 2 years, you wouldn't find me anywhere without Brady or Kendall. So this summer it was really hard, and it showed. It was really hard for me this summer because, like, when I'm with my traveling partners, you miss a calf and you get in the truck and you're just like trying to be positive around your friends and fellow competitors. One of them probably won, and you're just pumping them up, and then you guys get talking, and it's on to the next one, and you're visiting, music playing. And so when I was by myself, it's like I get in the truck and I drive to the next one 8 hours and I'm thinking about it and I'm frustrated at myself and I have nothing to take my mind off of it. So that was really different for me, but no snacks in the rig really for me. Probably maybe 3 bits hanging in the trailer. I'm not huge on, swapping bits and stuff, and probably a beach saddle and an Equitech and some best ever pads, some fastback ropes, and I'm rolling.
You're going on
I'm
with
pretty
it.
light traveler, pretty easy, I guess.
That's one thing that I felt like you were hopping rigs at all points, like going different
Yeah.
directions. 80 rodeo count this year. I know that Haven helps you kind of map out where, like you said, where you're going to go. You were talking, y'all were supposed to go together. So I'm sure he was mapping it all out. What was your guys' strategy this year with the 80 rodeo count going from 100 down to 80 and kind of making it play to benefit you the best?
It was actually tough because I tried to rodeo in Canada this summer, and just the way the Canadians' rodeo schedule changed a lot, and also our schedule in the States changed a lot. Nampa, Vernal, there's a lot of rodeos that got moved around. So it ended up where a lot of rodeos in the US were over top of some good Canadian rodeos that were pretty easy to work before. And so I think when I had gotten to, I don't even remember where I was at. I don't even think it was a third of the way through the summer, and I had already been on like 15 different airplanes just trying to go back and forth and work the Canadian rodeos with the US rodeo. So it was way different, and it was really tough because we're also like keeping in mind the rodeo count. And so it was tricky. I ended up getting everything that I wanted to, and some. There was some that I saved at the end of the year just in case I needed to go to them. And it worked out, but it definitely makes a difference to have somebody that knows what they're doing entering you, and somebody with experience, and also somebody who like has a map in their head, because I have no clue. I can't tell you which way's up, north, south. I don't even know. So I mean, I don't know what states are connected. I have to look at a map. So when Haven can do all that in his head, it's a lot easier.
That's why we use Haven for all the
Yeah.
good things.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Canada. I think that that's something that as we're starting to see the breakaway in is almost equal money in the Canadian finals, but all equal rounds. They get to do they're the same as every other competitor in the rounds as far as that goes. Is that something that is in the back of your head? I know you went last year, didn't go this year. Is Canada something that the Canadian rodeos are a priority and making the Canadian finals? That how can a person make that fit into making the NFR and trying to get that top spot to give yourself a chance for the gold buckle?
Yeah, that was probably the toughest thing, was my problem I ran into this year was tour points and tour rodeos. And the tough thing with the Canadian rodeos were it was like you're not just missing any old rodeo in the US, like you're missing a good tour rodeo if you try to go to X amount of rodeos in Canada. So it was really hard to try and figure that out. But it's really tough for me because obviously I really would love to get back to the CFR. I would love to prioritize the Canadian rodeos. Most of them are like, I've high school rodeoed in most of those arenas with those people, and they've done such a good job. The girls up there have done such a good job of showcasing the sport and pushing it on and getting the sponsors and just doing everything right. I feel like they are a lot further ahead as far as like getting into the CFR, being in the perfs, like their back number ceremony's the same. Like they've done such a good job up there, and it really makes you want to be a part of it.
I think showcasing the sport as breakaway ropers as a whole has really impressed me in all totality. Like it's changed so much. That's one thing that I've heard you say several times this year is breakaway roping the game has evolved, the horsepower, the girls. In your opinion, is there any specific things that you've seen change and evolve in these girls over the past 6 years of professional rodeo? And if so, what is that?
I would say the main thing that's changed and evolved is probably the numbers. Girls are figuring out how to enter rodeos, how to hit the rodeos. They're kind of just getting the hang of it, really. Like, I feel like it's just so competitive. And I truly believe that this past summer, rodeoing was the hardest summer that it's ever been. Like, the numbers were up. The numbers are so large that they have to bring more calves. It's more of a drawing contest. You're roping against more girls. There's so many things. And then, they add the 80 rodeo count. They add equal money at a lot of the big ones. So, when you hit, you're winning. The girls that are hitting are winning a lot more. Like there was a lot of things that made it so tough this year. And I for sure think this was the toughest year yet. Horsepower. I mean, girls are spending a lot of money on horses. They're making good horses. Like I think that everybody's just kind of figuring out the sport and figuring out how to be competitive and figuring out how to make it work. And it's getting extremely tough.
It is extremely tough. And I think that that's something, that we saw. For me, Raymond was saying the other day, 4 out of the 5 gold buckles are not in the NFR this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
like that's saying something.
that is saying something, and letting that sink in. Like there's only 5 out there, 5 of y'all, and 4, you're the only one that's got a gold buckle that made the NFR, and that's how competitive it is. There's 4 new rookies this year, and I mean that just speaks volumes for itself for me.
Yeah, it's highly competitive, and unfortunately for us, I think it's just gonna get worse. It's just gonna get tougher. I was talking to Jade Connor this summer, and he was saying almost like if you don't have a rerun, you're you're hooped. Like it's gotten so tough. If you don't know what your calf does, where you can just blow the barrier out and make the best run possible, it's like good luck. You might as well drive by it.
That is the case. A lot of the things that we've seen this year in rodeo was won on a second run, especially in the breakaway third run. It makes such a big difference. Especially, I always tell Raymond, you give them girls a chance to watch the barrier and and get those calves written down. Like you're just not going to beat them. And anymore, to me, it doesn't seem like there's just a group of girls that go everywhere. Like it doesn't matter where you go, where you show up, what state, what part of the world. There's girls that can breakaway rope everywhere, and they're throwing it no matter what.
Yeah, you're seeing new names on the leaderboard at every different rodeo. It's not the same group of girls that are winning every time now.
Yeah. And speaking of rodeo, a big rodeo that we're fixing to talk about is happening here in Las Vegas. Everybody's talking about Las Vegas and all the things. One of the things that we love to do here on In the Loop podcast before we get ready for Las Vegas is obviously play the Pro Fantasy Breakaway Roping game, which I know being a 6-year NFR qualifier, we've talked about this several different times. So, Shelby, if you were going to give a fan some advice on strategies that you've seen over the last 5 NFRs, what advice would you give them on picking a Pro Fantasy Breakaway team?
Honestly, from what I've seen at the NFRs is I would definitely go for the underdogs. They come in there and they light it up.
Yeah.
That's some things I've seen. The younger girls, the first time qualifiers, those girls light it up every year.
If you were going to pick a team, like for your family, for instance, is it mandatory that they pick you?
No. I was telling my parents, I think it was last year, I was like, I would love it if you guys just didn't put me on your team. Sometimes I feel really bad, like Calcuttas and stuff, when people have me, pay for me, and I'm just like, mess up, and you just feel so bad that they spent money. Just rather they didn't.
You don't feel bad that you spent money and messed up on you. You feel bad that other people spent
Yeah,
money
like
and you messed up.
I don't want them losing their money. I lose money on me all the time. I'm used to it.
Well, I think that that's a good strategy. And talk about these underdogs. What do you anticipate from the 4 rookies? We've got a little bit of pish posh everything from young to Suzanne Williams is coming in, 43-year-old rookie, and has been
Yeah.
Breakaway open for a long time. So I think there's a mix of everything. What do you anticipate from these rookies coming in at their first NFR?
I honestly don't even think that you can call them rookies because, Suzanne Williams has been a complete baddie for as long as I can remember. And I think, just like I said, I think they're going to light it up. And I think it's going to be really good watching.
Yeah. Well, Pro Fantasy has been a huge supporter in all things of In the Loop podcast, so we appreciate them. We always love to talk about it. And the Breakaway games are something that we love to play. We love to be a part of. $24 for a team. The rounds pay $200. The average pays $10,000. Last year, it was a fan that said, hey, I just picked Taylor Munsell because I met her in the bar and she ended up helping me win on the team. So it worked out good, and we love to hear our Pro Fantasy Rodeo stories, and they're a huge part of In the Loop. Another big sponsor that is a huge part of In the Loop is Premier Women's Rodeo. We've been talking about them all segment over these 15 days. The new evolution, Power, it evolved from WRWC to now PWR, which I'm so excited about because the other one totally tongue-ties me, and Power is way cooler. So, Shelby, we have 3 Power questions that were founded by the one and only Lindsay Sumter. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Every cowgirl's got a fighter in her. If you had a fighter name, what would it be?
Oh, I picked Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Rebecca's just a tough name. Yeah.
It is a tough name. Rebecca. So if you see me and Shelby down there and I call her Rebecca, you will know that I'm channeling her inner fighter in her. That's a good one. Okay, number 2. If ESPN called tomorrow and said we're going to draft you into any sport that you want, which one are you choosing?
Basketball.
Ooh. See, a lot of girls pick basketball. I feel like we need to play basketball more while we're out there on the pro rodeo road.
Yeah. I know, except I just don't want us to get hurt.
Playing basketball
Rosie.
and showing up as Rebecca. Like those two things
Yeah.
combine well.
We're picking our fighters' names and then we're going to all play basketball together.
Yeah, smart move. And number 3, if your rodeo career was turned into a sports movie, who would play you?
Nina Dobrev.
And why did you pick her?
I just like the Vampire Diaries and she's the main character.
Shelby is a Vampire Diary junkie and watches those all the time while she's driving because she needs something to do because her husband never goes with her.
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's
Haven's
pretty much
fault.
it.
It is pretty much it. We'll blame Haven again for that. But no, the PWR now is a huge event. I know you've been a part of it. You've won a lot of money there, May 12th through 15th, 2026 in Fort Worth, Texas. Why is the Premier Women's Rodeo Finals something that you make a priority?
I'm pretty sure that they were the first ones to put women on the map. They gave us opportunity for a lot of money. And, I feel like they were kind of tied into the WCRA. You can tell me if I'm wrong there, right?
Yep.
They grew off the WCRA. And WCRA was the first place that added equal money on equal platform for women to compete in. We watched Jackie be the first to win $50,000 at the Windy City Roundup. And Green Bay, Wisconsin, that's completely where I was made. That was that one place right there, winning 50,000. I was able to get on my feet, and that was the first place I was like, wow, I might actually be able to hang with these girls. Like I might be good enough, and it all started there for me. So they've supported women in rodeo from the beginning, and I feel like everybody kind of just followed suit from them.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it is cool, and I think just remembering those things like. It seems like it was such a long time ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. They've been around for up to 5 years now. They've paid out over $4.5 million. So they're huge in everything that we do. And just remembering all the things that they're a part of and continuing to be a part of is huge. So
yeah, I agree.
Pretty special time, but we're gearing up. You're getting ready. You're honing in. Las Vegas bound. You've been there 5 times. do you get bored? Like, I mean, what does a person do after they've been there 5 times?
Oh gosh. I don't think that it really gets old. It's been like the last month out from Vegas even. Sometimes I wake up with, jitters, some nerves. I wish that, I could just settle in and just feel ready and not feel the first time nerves, but it's just as exciting going there for the 6th time or as it is going in for
the
first time.
2023, you walk away with a gold buckle. Did that strategy and that game plan, I know you have that every year. That's your goal. Like, every time I've talked to you on 15 Days of Breakaway, you're like, I want that number 1 back number. And you came in number 3 this year, but not by a lack of effort or by a lack of funds. I mean, phenomenal year. What's your strategy going into this year? There's 3 of you that are in contention for a gold buckle. And, but you've already got one under your belt. So I feel like you already have a pretty solid strategy.
This is the first year that I've had a chance at a gold buckle and not gone in number 1. So I actually feel like I can breathe. I feel like, I get to chase, like I get to go make my runs and I'm going in there with a goal, like I know how much money I want. I have to win, obviously. And I feel like when I was going in number 1 before, it's just like, you don't have a set number that you need. It's just, rope sharp, but do not mess up. Like don't stub your toe, but rope good. And so I feel like it's just a lot different going in this year. It's like, okay, this is what you have to go do. Like you're chasing. So you have a goal to go and, look at. And so this is like, this is the first time I feel like I can actually like breathe going into the NFR breakaway because, I don't have anything to lose and I have everything to gain. So I feel like definitely I'm most excited for this finals.
What's your strategy in the back? I know we've talked to each and every girl about their specific strategy. You've been in all different situations where every one of the NFRs were. What's your strategy in the back?
It's mainly the same thing. I've learned over the years, it was always like, do not break the barrier, do not miss. And now it's just like, okay, you need to hit the barrier. And if you miss a calf, don't be so sad about it. It's okay. Because I feel like that is one thing that I've learned from being there. It's like, there's only been 2 girls in history, I think, catch 10 calves at the NFR breakaway. I could be wrong on that. But I think it was Katie Williams and Sawyer Gilbert, right?
3.
It's 10. Oh, maybe there's 3.
Me too.
Oh, Jordan. Can we cut that?
It's okay. It was the first one.
Really? I didn't. Oh, well, 20. I don't know 2020 stats.
I caught 12.
Well, then you're the only girl in history to catch 12.
I'm just kidding. But I know I did catch 12 because it was a different format that year.
Right, because they did the
8-man, 4-man.
Well, that's doing it because there's only been 2 people catch 10. I'm not wrong. There's only been 2 girls catch 10 in history. Yeah. You caught 12.
I caught 12. You were right. I caught 12.
I was not wrong. So yeah, I think that that's the main thing is just hit the barrier and try and take your first best shot.
Yeah.
And what I've learned from myself over the years is nothing good happens in the middle of the arena. All the good stuff happens at the front. Anytime I've missed and messed up, it's because I missed the barrier and was running them too far. So
I love that perspective shift. And it's empowering in knowing like, hey, I'm going to show up and hit the barrier and take my first shot. We roped calves and you guys are going to rope calves that we've seen at Salinas. We've seen at Reno. They're going to be bigger, stronger cattle. What's your thoughts on the cattle and roping them at the NFR?
We roped John's cattle, what was it, 2021 at the New Orleans, right? Mm-hmm. I think. And, there was girls that were a little skeptical because the calves were going to be a lot bigger, but the calves were amazing and every single girl said it. He did a great job. So, I'm pretty much expecting the same thing this year. I think that the calves are going to be great. He does a good job. And, I've been roping some bigger calves, trying to rope calves that are about the same size in the practice pen and, real life practices. So, I think that it's going to be good.
Kimes Ranch $1 million breakaway. That's something that I feel like everybody was shooting for this year, not just the NFR, but that was like a second, notch in your belt, so to speak, of, hey, we want to be in the top 10 to make the Kimes Ranch. You had a lot of success there and it's been instrumental. Do you have a strategy to do both? Do you plan on riding the same horses at, 10 at the Kimes Ranch to follow 10 at the National Finals breakaway, or how do you go about that?
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a good kind of warm up for Anna just to get sharp, go to the Kimes, and the way that they did it, it's pretty easy. You're going to run 3 a night for what is it? 3 a night for 2 nights, and then you run the rest of them the third night. So they space it out pretty good. It's pretty easy work on the horses, and I haven't really taken on anywhere. I've been just trying to get her confidence back up in the practice pen after however 80 rodeos this summer, just blasting on her and taking bad shots. So I'm excited. I think that a lot of the horses are going to get sharp. It's a good opportunity to go there, win a whole bunch of money, and then get to go to Vegas right after.
What is the one thing you're looking forward to the 6th National Finals Breakaway? What's the one thing you're most excited about?
Honestly, just being there. I think my favorite thing every year is watching the back number ceremonies, our back number ceremony and the guys. You almost tear up watching it because no matter what, you know that every single person that walks across that stage and grabs that back number absolutely scratched and clawed. And they had, early mornings, late nights. You just know, you watch all the contestants, you know what it takes to get that back number. And it's my favorite thing watching everybody get that back number.
Well, it is something that is phenomenal. I've cried every time I've got mine, so that's cool too. Shelby Boisjoli-Meged, congratulations on being the one and only 6 times National Finals Breakaway Open qualifier and coming in at number 3 this year. I cannot wait to watch you rope at Las Vegas, and best of luck.
Thank you.
You are officially in the loop.